7:30 tomorrow here on 10. And stay with us now for the latest in 10 News.
Neighbours should be there for one another. That's when good neighbours become good friends. Ooh, neighbours should be there for one another. That's when good neighbours become good friends.
This is the Cairns 6 o'clock news.
Tonight, banks lift their fixed loan rates in the wake of our dollar's dive.
Push and shove as protesting koalas upstage the Premier.
And rainy days for the Suns as Rucker quits. Good evening. Interest rates are on the rise tonight, with 3 mortgage leaders making moves with their fixed home loans. The news came as the dollar's dive levelled out.
It's what every borrower has been warned about, news of how much fixed rates would gyre 10 News.
A police bodyguard shoved protesters off a stage today as they tried to interrupt a speech by the Premier. The protesters, dressed as koalas, were from the Wilderness Society, which accuses the government of roughhouse tactics.
For the second day in a row, the Wilderness Society koala gate-crashed a breakfast function attended by the coalition.
Sons are facing an uncertain future.
And we'll have more on Rucker's resignation later in sport.
But next, the airport advances revolutionising northern air travel. More now on Campaign 98, and the Labor Party has accused the Liberals of dirty tricks in the seat of Barron River. A full-page advertisement in today's paper claimed to be independent, but was authorised by the Liberals' campaign manager.
2 days from the election and Jim Elder was on the attack. Labor's deputy leader flew into Cairns to fly off about this full-page advertisement in the Cairns Post.
This is one of the worst dirty tricks that I've seen played in the campaign for a long time.
The ad condemns Labor's tourism policy, claiming industry jobs depend on a re-elected coalition government. It makes clear our group recommends you vote for the coalition this Saturday. That group purports to represent tourism owners. It was placed in the paper by S. Noakes, the same S. Noakes who runs Liberal member Lynn Warwick's campaign in Barron River.
Was this ad written in my office? No, it wasn't written in my office.
Not good enough for the Labor Party.
Within the industry, they know who's behind this.
Lynn Warwick says that's rot, claiming the group has the industry's best interests at heart. But with her campaign manager writing the ad, he'd also have to have the coalition's best interests at heart as well. Adam Boland, 10 News.
A 28-year-old Victorian man has faced court in Cairns, charged over a series of armed hold-ups in the city. Police allege that on March the 30th this year, Simon John Cazares held up 2 service stations and the Big Tomato the following day. The hearing continues tomorrow.
Nurses at Calvary Hospital held a stop-work meeting this afternoon over an enterprise bargaining dispute. It's the first time Calvary nurses have taken industrial action, but say they've been forced to after continued failed negotiations with hospital management. The nurses are seeking a 10% pay increase over 2 years to bring them up to the same wage rate as their public colleagues. Calvary has offered a 5% increase over 2 years, but nurses say it falls way short.
Come to boiling point where nurses have decided they've had enough and wanting to take some action.
Calvary says it simply can't afford it, with the hospital operating at a loss over the past 2 years.
We're not unsympathetic to the view that they need an increase, but the problem for us is essentially the ability of the hospital and the industry to pay that increase.
The nurses say the dispute could escalate into statewide industrial action if it's not resolved.
And still on industrial matters, South Johnston Sugar Mill management have allowed a group of union workers back to work after resolving an enterprise bargaining dispute.
Neil Cordy in Paris for 10 News.
Returning to financing, the Australian share market fell yet again today as concern over the dollar grows. The All Ordinaries closed 34.2 points down. The dollar closed slightly stronger, as did gold. Sports time. Trevor's here and the pocket rocket about to blast off, Trev.
He is, Tony. The Suns today released Derek Rucker from his contract. The Kiwis arrived to face the Olyroos, and the Chicago Bulls set to win another championship. Townsville Suns fans have been rocked by the news today that Derek Rucker has left the club. Released from the remaining 2 years of his contract, Rucker will pursue his goal of winning a championship elsewhere. When Derek Rucker said goodbye to the Furness fans last Tuesday night, it was for good. For most of this year, it's been rumoured Rucker would leave the club. Today, after 3 seasons with the Suns, he's called it.
Matthew White, 10 News.
And that's the sport, Tony.
Thanks, Trev. Pricey in with the weather next.
And our Seinfeld scoop gets an international airing.
On Battle of the Sexes, next on 10. Tonight's weather report proudly brought to you by Harvey Norman.
At Harvey Norman. You want it, we got it. At Harvey Norman.
Our Black Hawk guys are fantastic pilots, but not exactly Cecil B. DeMille's. This was taken by one of our Black Hawk guys in the highlands of Irian Jaya. I wanted to show this particular short piece, shaky and windy though it is. It shows how friendly these people are, even to a rather strange-looking character who was getting them to jump and wave to a helicopter. This village is one of the many the fellas up there visit. The kids are fantastic. Look at that. We had the top today. The little brown stones heated up to 32 degrees, the lowest -1 at Stanthorpe, of course. Ingham and Ayr 25, Atherton 22. Now the chart has the low moving off the coast and the high stretched right across Oz. Now these systems giving fine and clear weather right across Queensland. More frost inland in the south of the state this morning, but way down south in for gale force winds and rain from this cold front. Have a look at this. On the satellite, right across Oz, pretty clear, but look at the front moving across the southern areas. They should see some snow up in the fields in the next few days. The low will move out to sea and weaken. The weak high will move into the Tasman, so we'll keep this great weather through the weekend. More frosts in the south. May see a little rain in the north coast late in the weekend as the southeasterlies pick up moisture, and by the way, they will increase in strength from around Tuesday. Backpacking through Cairns, well, lovely tomorrow, fine with light to moderate southeast winds, 15 to 26. Townsville and Thurrangower, fine with light to moderate south to southeasterlies, 10 to 26. And Ingham, Charters, Towers, Ayr and the Hill, a fine 26, low of 10. Fine in the Isa, low of 5, top of 29 degrees. More cuddling weather for the Warrego and the Maranoa, going down to 1 and 2 in Roma and Charleville, top 24 and fine Longreach 4 to 25. Fine for Mackay and Rocky, but a bit chilly tonight. Wet in the south. Now, if you're holidaying up here in the north, you'd love knowing that. Rain in Canberra and Melbourne, showers in Hobart, Adelaide and Perth, Brisbane in for a fine 23. And for the boaties and beachcombers, straight to Cooktown, southeast winds 15 to 20s. Cooktown to Cardwell, southeast winds at 10 to 15 knots. Down to beautiful Horseshoe Bay and Bowen, south to southeast winds 10 to 15s. Afternoon sea breezes. The morning high tides for the lads of the USS Mobile Bay in Townsville for 5 days, 9:43, 10:51, and for Yorkeys Knob, the high water at 9:45 and 10:48. Sunrise over Mount Bowen on Hinchinbrook, 6:43, and the foxes out in your pawpaw tree at 5:42, and in Irian Jaya, our last rotation due back around the 15th of July. No doubt great work being done in the highlands by all our military. Have a great night, Uru Murphy.
Thanks, Pricey. And finally tonight, the bizarre meeting with Jerry Seinfeld, which has turned a TV reporter into hot property.
If a day's a long time in politics, in television it's even longer, because it's only taken 24 hours for Adam Boland to go from rookie reporter in a regional television station to international megastar.
It's been remarkable. It's like one story and you're a hit in this country. It's very bizarre.
It's all thanks to this man, and some rather dubious sartorial eloquence on Adam's part.
I was sitting there thinking, boy, that kid put on a tie. I remember when I used to put on, and it's a knit tie. It's completely out of fashion.
Yeah, I know.
So I kind of felt for you. I thought, this kid needs a break.
This is the tie that got Jerry's attention. And I'll have you know, even though Jerry scrutinised it and criticised it, it's a Country Road latest collection tie.
Clearly he's already getting the hang of how to plug for free merchandise, a talent he can sharpen up on his many television appearances, such as America's Entertainment Tonight.
He found one of the nice ones in Adam Boland, a reporter who'd been following him for days.
Do you know how extraordinary this is for a person?
For you?
For me.
Yes.
It's not for you.
For me, nothing. This is nothing.
And radio interviews.
What does this mean for you, Adam? You've actually scored a scoop interview. Is it the Adam Boland Show now on Channel 10?
Mate, I hope so.
But today it was back to the boring stuff, with a celebrity not quite as bright.
Oh, Pauline's just as good as Jerry.
Still, it can't be the same.
This is Jerry Seinfeld doing Adam Boland's job on Channel 10.
He did it better than me. He did it better than me.
Oh, and a notice to management. Adam's already had 2 job offers today. Angela Bishop, 10 News.
Well, he's no rookie, he's our Chief of Staff, Adam.
He is, and he'll have to frame that tie, I think. That's us for the 11th of June. Good night.
Good night.
Tonight, following Battle of the Sexes, Seinfeld with Jerry's Pick, then News Radio. And don't miss Crime Time TV with NYPD Blue and Law and Order.
The Battle of the Sexes.